I'll be honest with you, and I actually respect, and you give me a lot to think about. And without being arrogant, at my echelon, it's not often I sit down with somebody and they say something that makes me think. But you've given me something to think about, and I genuinely, I'm going to think about it.
Yeah. This is an exciting episode.
Let's make sure we don't disappoint, sir.
Oh, why would you do it? It just makes me so nervous now. All right, cool.
Put you on the spot.
Andrew.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome to the George Janko Show, and thank you for ending season 1. What a great season. What a great season. I brought my notes, bro, because I didn't want to come all the way to Romania and then, like, forget. So if you see me looking, don't.
Yeah, it's a long way to come, you know. It's kind of the forgotten part of the world. I'm not Romanian, but I certainly put Romania on the map. I don't feel like anyone talked about Romania ever.
Ever. And why did you come here?
I decided to leave the West. I can give you a very happy, funny answer. Do you want happy, funny Andrew, or do you want serious, the world is ending Andrew? There's two different versions.
Let's start. I want both. I want both versions of you.
Sure. Well, I think that the Western world is in serious decline, and that literally in real time you can see it falling apart. So you have to find somewhere else to live, and the world's not really that big. I think that the values which held the Western world together at some point have been proven to be false, and all of it is a lie. I feel like all of the metrics in which you can measure the success of a society, the Western world is failing in. So once you accept that, you say, okay, the West is failing. It's on its way down. I can't live in the West. And then you look at a map and you look at South America, which is very dangerous, and I'm not South American and I don't speak Spanish. And then Eastern Europe, which is where we are now, preserves its culture via religion, and they have some other societal, what's the word I'm looking for? Traditions, which certainly preserve the culture better. It's a slower decline. So I felt like this might be a good place to live. Unfortunately, I think in the 7 years I've been here, Eastern Europe is catching up with the West, and I feel like it's going to go down the same hole, so I'm going to have to move again. But when I moved here 7 years ago, it just felt like a safer place, felt like a nicer place, and decided to leave. I don't see what America or England or the West has for people anymore.
Okay, question. Do you think that this generation is more evil than the past generations?
I don't think they're evil. I think they're lost, and I think they're misguided, and I think we're now living in a culture where I'm a full-grown man. I'm 36 years old. I catch myself, even at my ripe old age and high level of professionalism, sometimes for a few seconds, only a few seconds before I correct myself, scrolling on garbage. Imagine how these 14 and 15-year-old children are even being raised. Just scrolling through these social media algorithms, which are deliberately designed to poison their mind. And they're going to school, they're being fed absolute garbage, and they have no religious connotations, no God, and no family unit. They're just a mess. And then we look at, like I said, every metric in which you can measure the health of a society, the crime rate and the cost of living, basic things, traffic, anything you can measure, the West is falling off a cliff. So it's like, how do you fix all of that? So I decided to move to Eastern Europe, and I had a very good time here, and I was treated very well, and it's a very safe place, and it's a beautiful country. I've been through some recently things changed a bit. I think
you can get out of your house.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Well, I'm allowed out my house. Yeah, that's nice.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what's the first thing you did when you got out of your house?
My first day off of house arrest, I stayed in the house.
That's fucking weird, man.
I know, but it was a sign of resistance.
Oh, you wanted to prove that you could keep going.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like you're flexing all the time. Like, is there like if I was on house arrest, who the fuck are you flexing for? Just leave. And anything, you could have lied and be like, no, I stayed for an extra 3 days. But like you stayed.
I stayed.
Just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Now, was it for your brother or was it for your? No, I was just joking about the lie.
Yeah.
Actually, I have it in my notes because I know that you don't like lying, and I have a story about lying. I was I'm not gonna mention his name out of respect for him, but he took me on his jet. We were having a great time. We were about to do business together. Yep. We were courtside, and he made a comment about one of the basketball players. He's like, well, he's a little bitch because he told his teammate was cheating and got him in a scandal. Yeah. And I said, well, the other man was cheating. He was lying. Yeah. And he turns to me and he goes, if you have a problem doing business with people that cheat, you'll never work. And I, one, stopped immediately wanting to work with this guy. Two, my provider is God, nobody else. Yeah. So it comes with morals. Yep. If you're going to cheat on a woman that you're building a life with and being fruitful with, what the fuck are you going to do to me?
Well, that's very true. And that's very valid. But I'll play devil's advocate here. What the other guy said about if you have problems doing business with somebody who cheats, you're never going to do any business. Unfortunately, he's also pretty right because it's
but
rife.
Not with partners though. I don't feel like you want to get in business with a partner. I mean, think about this. He shares a family bloodline with the person that he's robbing. Yeah, I'm nothing to him.
That's true, and that is infallible logic.
So how can I even, for me, my girl, right? She's my partner.
Yeah.
I couldn't focus if I had to come do this interview with you and I know she's out somewhere. Now I have to think about what she's doing. It's taking away from me.
Yeah.
So if I'm breaking bread with a man and I'm doing business with him, I can't sit around wasting my time thinking about what he's doing.
And you're completely right, and I totally understand that. But as a honest individual, I have to sit here and be honest and analyze myself and analyze my own romantic relationships. Am I completely faithful in the traditional sense? No. Why is that? That's a good question. I can't say exactly why that is, but I think that probably the biggest decline in the Western world I have to accept, even though I partake in it and even though I am guilty of it. I think the biggest failing of the Western world is that men and women do not stick together anymore. I think it would fix a lot of problems.
I find that very fascinating that you know that's the problem. You teach men to be better men and to fix their problems. Don't run away from it. But you know that monogamy is a challenge for you, but you don't want to...
It's not a challenge. Monogamy is not a challenge for me. Monogamy is a decision that every man must make. But for you to make that decision, you have to sit down and decide that, you know, this woman is worth me being monogamous to, which is fine. I think the biggest struggle that men have in the Western world today is finding a woman who they believe is worth being monogamous to. I don't think men have a problem with monogamy as much as men have a problem finding a woman who they truly believe they should be monogamous to. Also, that's something that's interesting about monogamy, because we can talk about this and it can be a very interesting conversation. In days of old, high-value men, important men, kings, warriors, whatever, had multiple wives. And they had to look after the multiple wives, or they had mistresses, and they had children with them all, and they had to look after them all. In certain cultures today, that is still the case. In certain religions today, that is still the case. In the Christian world, in the Western world, we have said that's unacceptable. We should be monogamous.
Yeah.
But then you have the majority of men who are monogamous are cheating. The ones who are not cheating are using prostitutes sometimes, or going to strip clubs sometimes, or consuming pornography. So they're not truly, actually loyal. So you've moved the idea of a man having 3 or 4 women he loves and taking care of to a man having one woman he's supposed to love and doing a whole bunch of things in secret. You've just subsidized monogamy and you've removed it all towards pornography and degeneracy. So then you have to sit and argue, well, why does so much degeneracy happen in the West? Is it because we are not allowing men to be more true to their instincts? This is all brand new thoughts for me, and I'm just speaking as I think. But let's look at another example, right?
Well, before, can I tap in with that? So what's your example, right? So I have an example, Christ. He gives me his way, and I kind of follow it. If I had to follow men and their needs, I'd be burned up tomorrow.
And I don't think it's needs. I don't think men cheat because of needs.
Well, okay. Women cheat because of like feelings. They get an emotional attachment to them. Men cheat because of more lustful body type thing. I've never heard of a man being like, man, I can't wait to talk to Becky.
Of course, but I think a lot of it's also ego.
Exactly. So, but ego, what comes before ego? Or it comes after ego?
Yeah, a fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.